My name is Gina Dorch, and I spoke at the last school board meeting. I'm here to tell you that I'm not going anywhere. I have 3 children, ages 12, 14, and 15, and the emotional toll that this pandemic has taken on my children having to mask during this school year has been heartbreaking. The stories I'm hearing about the tactics being used to keep masks on our children are concerning. For example, my 12-year-old told me at Westwood Middle School that teachers offer candy if they keep their mask above their nose, even if it's barely falling a little, but don't actually give them candy. He goes on to say it's hard because it's Florida and it's hot and stuff and it gets all wet. Another story was shared the other day that a little girl coughed a few times during class and the teacher stopped what they were doing, yelled at her, and made her go sit in the corner of the room. Then she coughed again and the teacher stopped again, grabbed the nurse's slip, and made 2 girls leave the class with her to walk her to the office so that they could open all the doors because she wasn't allowed to touch them. What are we doing to our kids that can potentially scar them for life? Honestly, I remember being yelled at in 2nd grade, and I've never forgotten it. These kids are getting the wrath of adults that think they have some kind of disease. They are being yelled at about their masks daily, and frankly, I'm tired of it. This has to stop. Even DeSantis' roundtable of doctors spoke about how harmful masks are for our kids. Are you even listening? So let's start by asking the million-dollar question. Now that vaccines are available to all teachers and staff, what is the problem? I can say that I have done quite a bit of digging since the last meeting. For one, I found out in an email from Superintendent Carly Simon, and I quote, "In addition, the district is in a MOU, a memorandum of understanding with the teachers and staff within the district. The agreement requires mandatory masking for the remainder of the year," end quote. So basically, no matter what you say or who you say you're meeting with each week, you actually have no intentions of looking at the numbers from SMAC or Alachua County Health Department to determine unmasking our children. What our parents are asking is that you be honest in your stance. We have found out the hard way that our own school board member, Tina Certain, is leading a team of digital parents who have done nothing, who have nothing to do with brick and mortar.
Excuse me, we're not allowed to use names when commenting, as you are.
Okay, no problem. Is leading a team of digital parents who have nothing to do with brick and mortar against us. And I quote, "The anti-maskers are few in number but are making a lot of noise. I'm asking that you all do likewise. Email, call in, and attend county and school board meetings asking that the mask mandates be left in place. Share and ask people to participate," unquote. And the biggest shock was UF's own PhD faculty senate chair. An internal document was obtained manipulating UF students into getting the vaccine. And I quote, "While we embark on massive immunization, we will have to be creative and find ways to convince those still on the edge. One incentive is that once vaccinated, the students won't have to stay on the routine test program. It is important to note that per today's executive order, we likely won't be able to require vaccination documentation, like the flu vaccine," end quote. I'm not the only one that can see this language is awfully clear in its intention, cohesiveness. So how do the parents do the parents that are concerned for their children win in Alachua County? I'll tell you how we win. We go above you.
Ms.
That's what we
Dorch.
plan to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Documented autistic and behaviorally challenged students under full ADA, IDEA, and OSHA compliance with a background in hazardous environs PPE applications, which includes which respirators work when and why. My experience grants me the capacity, for instance, to understand specifically how none of you shown to be sitting before us tonight are protected against COVID-sized particulates, nor are you protecting others, most especially not the band members with holes cut into their already non-mitigating apparatuses. Had you taken pause before jumping on the mask mandate bandwagon, you'd have considered that there are 0 efficacy standards for child-sized masks. You are requiring untested, unregulated apparatuses which restrict breathing, cause increased carbon dioxide exposure, and are a petri dish of secondary pathogens directly in front of oral and nasal mucosa. The real kicker? Cloth and surgical masks are expressly non-mitigating for airborne pathogens. COVID-sized particulates have a minimum particle size of 0.06 microns, which even if part of a larger cluster, still easily falls within the radically behaving particulate range. Add implosive force, which is the varying outward respiratory pressure, and you have much like a water through a garden hose on the mister setting. Droplet into aerosol, where the tighter the fit, the greater the pressure of fine particulates in an outward plume, effectively taking what falls in a predictable 6-foot arc and sending it into an 18 to 20-foot trajectory, remaining aloft for hours in enclosed spaces. This exacerbates the spread of airborne pathogen. Best practice in accommodating this chaos would be to survey all within the district and match employees in need of additional precautions into tiered protective groupings, serving families with vulnerable members under stricter protocol based on buy-in and actual need. Additionally, educational administrators are required to take extensive child psychology and human growth and development coursework, yet are seemingly ignoring the requirement of seeing lip, tongue, and tooth placement for linguistic onset and development and the ability to emulate caregiver social cues. These missed milestones can take years to make up for, to remediate if remediation is even achievable. By following these practices, you are in direct and constant violation of federal IDEA student integration rights segments 300.114 through 300.118, denying the children you serve least restrictive educational environment access while creating a heightened discriminatory atmosphere for employees you serve without accommodation required under ADA federal workplace integration access law, wherein mere presence does not constitute direct threat, even if transmissible with contagious pathogen. These practices are OSHA non-compliant as workplace respirator use for known pathogen requires medical clearance, of PPE correctly matched to the pathogen provided by the employer. This does not require such extensive additional resources as you're currently burning through.
Ma'am, if you could wrap up your comments.
Families you represent can read your lips to participate tonight.
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
What? No, I didn't.
That was the end of your few minutes.
That was the end of all I had to say anyway. And you should be
Okay. Hello, my name is Tiffany, and I would have come in person this afternoon, but based on the number of seats available, which is 6, I doubt the kids and I would have made it in the door. I come to you this evening with questions regarding the ongoing mandate that only this county still has in place. Yes, I am here to discuss the masks. What is your justification for continuing this mandate that masks be worn at school? We have a vaccine that is now available to anyone who wants it. We have a 99% survival rate. We have no evidence that children are the ones spreading the virus in the schools. The positivity rate in Alachua County matches the surrounding counties who have dropped their mask rules a long time ago. The masks and the charade need to end now. I am calling in as a representative of more than 500 parents who all agree that this mandate is way past expired. We are sick and tired of our voices being silenced, and we are sick and tired of our children being muzzled. Our children are healthy and they deserve to be treated as such. They should not be locked. They should not be looked down upon as germ factories. They should not be criminalized for wanting to breathe freely. They should not be shunned for laughing or sneezing or whispering in their friend's ear. I come to you as one of many, many parents who are against this mask rule. We do not agree with it. We have asked nicely, and now we are done. I would imagine that these 500 parents each have at least 2 kids in the public schools here. If 1,000 students were to move out of Alachua County, would that get your attention? Then might you take our concerns seriously? We have had doctors call in and try and reason with you. We have presented bar graphs and charts to show just how very few cases of COVID there are in Alachua County. We have debunked your fears that the virus is being spread in the schools, but you just sit there blank-faced hiding behind your masks. My only conclusion is that you just don't care. You don't care about the mental health crisis you are creating, the depression and the anxiety that you are fostering during this time. You don't care about the rise in bacterial pneumonia and the outbreak of fungal yeast infections on our children's faces. You could be using the situation to comfort and embrace our children, to encourage them that it's going to be okay, but instead you insist on these masks that silence and suffocate them. You don't care about their well-being at all. Where will you be next year when we are forfeiting soccer practice to take them to counseling to help them undo the harm this year has done? Who will pay for the anxiety prescriptions and the counseling sessions? Where will you be when the rest of the parents join us and finally stand up to this tyranny? A very obvious rift is growing between the parents in Alachua County and the teachers and the school board, and these masks could very well be the last straw. I also want to share, my daughter has a poem she wants to read. It will only be a few seconds. Thank you.
This isn't the place you want to be. Masks don't work for you or me. You know where you left me. In the cave of COVID. Now I can't run with my friends or even talk with a clear voice. It's like a challenge of force. Now you are me. No one likes them. If you don't understand, then go away.
Thank you.
The end of the